Ladies and gentlemen, will you please give a warm round of applause to Lucas Warford?
I'm on tour with my band in Germany for the second time. We've got a few big shows at the end of the tour in Berlin. The booker, who's also kind of acted as our chauffeur and tour guide, he comes to us the day before the last show, and he says, I've got a big surprise for you guys the next day. You guys have been so much fun to work with, and so I'm going to pick you up at 10:30 in front of your hostel and bring all your money with you. Okay. He's an unsavory character, so the prospect of a gift from him seemed more like a cause for worry than excitement from us. But next day, 10:30, we get up, van shows up, we get in. We're in the downtown of Berlin. We drive through the downtown. We drive out of the downtown. We drive out of the city. We drive into an industrial park, basically. There's warehouses, factories. We're driving. It's been like 20 minutes, 25 minutes. Factories, nothing. No one's saying anything. He's not saying anything. We don't know where we're going. He turns into a big parking lot, a big 4-story kind of concrete bunker of a building. No sign. Pull up to the entrance. He turns around. He says, "This is the nicest brothel in Germany. Probably one of the nicest brothels in all of Europe. And I got you guys 24-hour passes." Silence from the band. We got a show that night, and he's like, well, I'll just pick you up later. You know, I'm gonna come get you guys before the show. It's like 11 in the morning. Now I've never had any interest in prostitution or paying for sex or anything like that. I've been doing a lot of red light districts all over the world, and it's nothing I've ever done. A lot of arguments for it, against it. For the purpose of my story, suffice to say, I just found it relentlessly unarousing to think about paying for sex. So I was like, this is in my own head, but here I am, and there we are, and now we're getting out of the van, and now the van's driving away. And we're walking into the brothel, the lobby. It's white-tiled lobby. No one said anything yet. I don't know what's going on through the other guys' heads, but definitely some sort of band solidarity is kicked in. And it's a powerful force. I mean, when you're on the road with a band for 3 months, you're basically homeless. You're in like a relationship with these 3 guys, basically, you know, and you'll do anything to keep that solidarity strong. You know, no one was going to be the guy who was like, well, I'm getting in a cab. Going back to Berlin, you guys, gonna go to the museum or whatever, have fun, you know. That went through my head, but I wasn't gonna do it. None of the other guys were apparently either, because here we go, and now we're in the lobby, and we walk up to the lobby, and the lady is a receptionist, and she's like, "Oh, you're the American band." And we agreed with her, and she's like, "Oh, all right." Well, she handed us our passes, and we signed in, and she led us into this locker room. And she's like, "There's 2 things you've got to do to go into the brothel." And she hands us these large, like, leather wristbands that take up about half of my forearm. Mine was bright pink, which was good. I wanted the bright pink one. On one half of it, there's a sort of zippy pouch to put all your thousands of euros into. And on the other side, there was a key to a locker. And you needed the key to the locker because the second thing was, to get into the brothel, you had to totally strip down, take off all of your clothes, put on this white bathrobe, and that's the only thing you were allowed to wear to go into the brothel. Okay. And so, you know, I'm taking the clothes off, stripping down, and then I get to my hat. And I really don't like to not. I like to have the hat on. It's pretty much if there's one social comfort blanket for me, it's having the hat on. And so I think I was even like, can I go in with the hat? I'm totally naked, bathrobe, but if I can keep the hat on, that would be great. And she said no. And so I had to take the hat off. And I got one of my like twice annual haircuts earlier this week, but at the time it was pretty intense, and the hair, I was probably doing this the whole time I was in there, just walking around. Well, so anyways though, I was like, all right, I gotta take my hat off. If I gotta go into this place and hang out for the next X number of hours, the one thing I am gonna bring, and the one thing that I had to have with me no matter what, this has been true basically my whole life, so I have to have a book with me. And I had my Kindle with me. And so I was like, fuck this, I'm sneaking my Kindle into this place. And so she's distracted. I don't think she would have actually done anything, but I took Kindle out of the bag and put it on my armpit underneath the bathrobe so I can get in. So, all right, whatever happens, I've got that. I'm ready to deal with whatever could come after this. So, all right, we're all ready, 4 of us. There's 4 of us, by the way. Guitarist, singer, drummer, myself. Leads us in. She gives us a little tour. It's 4 layers. The bottom, there's like a spa, a sauna. Then there's a restaurant on the second, and then on the third, there's a lounge with a movie theater, and then on the top are all the private bedrooms. They actually go upstairs with the women. You can pretty much, as she explains, do anything you negotiate with the women besides actually having sex with them outside of the top floor. After that, you got to go upstairs. And you negotiate the price and what you want to do with the women as you talk to them. And the women themselves, we've already seen around, they're just walking around the brothel. It's about 11:30 a.m. and there's the 4 of us, probably 4 or 5 very aged-looking businessmen and about 3 dozen extremely sleepy-looking prostitutes. And all just, they're all naked, just hanging out, all different types of women. Some of them are eating, some of them are drinking coffee and just hanging out, doing whatever, just like we are, basically. And then she sets us loose, and all my bandmates shoot off in different directions. And I don't know what to do with myself. I don't know if it was going to be like a buddy adventure, or if we were going to stay together the whole time. It's kind of, I guess, what I thought in my mind. It's like, where are you guys going? What am I supposed to do now? The band Solidarity only goes so far, I guess. But so I head straight for the sauna level. Seems like good relaxing place. I still have no plans to actually sleep with any of these women. At this point, I'm like, it's stressed out. I don't know what to do. I'm just going to try and actually chill out. So I head downstairs. There's a heated pool. I sit by the pool. I take out my book. I read for a little while. And as soon as the Kindle comes out, probably about 10 women converge on my chair, start, picking at it, talking to me. Oh, why are you reading? Why? Some of them don't even speak English, and I'm just like trying to have a conversation. Like, I'm just trying to relax. It's early, we got a lot of time. Don't worry about it. So I get up and I move and I go somewhere else and I sit down and I try to read again. And this goes on. This kind of cycle goes on for hours, probably, of me sitting there trying to read. The prostitutes, they come up, they talk to me, I'm uncomfortable, I leave. Some of them that speak English, they try to be a little more coy about it. They might come up and they're like, hey, what are you reading? And I'm reading Stephen King's The Shining right now. Which is true. I'm right at the end, in fact. And I'd love to tell you about how Jack Torrance is trying to kill his family with an axe, but I'd rather not take that time out of your day, so I'm going to go now, and this has been great. On and on and on that goes. And I keep seeing my band members on and off throughout the day. They look like they're having a lot of fun. The guitarist and the singer, they're definitely having a blast. Women hanging off of them, they're hanging off of women. I see them going upstairs with all kinds and numbers of ladies. I see the guitarist with 3 women at one point at the same time going upstairs. Great for him. And I'm thinking now, like, well, what's the difference there? The singer, I've spent a lot of time with these guys in all kinds of situations. I know a lot about their sexual habits, among other things. And the singer, he just likes to have sex. If he's having sex with somebody, then good times. Doesn't matter. The context, who it is, whatever, is good, he's good to go. The guitarist is a little more interesting. He really liked paying for sex. He loved that. I've been to red light districts with him all over Europe, and he wouldn't flirt with girls after the show. He wouldn't get picked up by girls after the show, but if there was a red light district in that town, he was there right after the show. He just loved it, and I would watch him in these environments, and it looked like fun when he was doing it. It looked like this game. It's like he would like kind of flirt with the ladies. Ladies would kind of flirt with him, like this playtime acting that was going on that seemed tremendously appealing when I saw him doing it. And they would talk, they would flirt, and they would sleep together, and that was that, and it would all be great. And I never really understood it. And then I was thinking, maybe I'm the one with the problem. I go in there thinking I don't like or really support prostitution or anything like that, so I'm gonna hang out in here or whatever, it'll be fine. But now I'm thinking, well, these guys are having a great time. These women are here anyways. I've been given this gift that I didn't ask for. And so why can't I just relax and enjoy it? And so I think, okay, I'm gonna try and be a little more proactive about this whole experience. I'll try and emulate Mr. Guitar Player here and see if I can achieve just a fraction of the fun that he's having. So I go put my Kindle back in the locker, put that aside. I'm going to actually talk and mingle with some of these women. I go to the lounge and start talking to them, and I don't know what it is. Am I flirting? Are we just talking? What's going on? I'm just trying to have a conversation. I end up talking to a lady for a while. She's perfectly nice, perfectly attractive, and I'm thinking, okay, well, I'm not going to get any more comfortable than I am right now. And so, we're talking, and I'm like, well, let's go upstairs. And she's like, sure. What would you like to do? Have sex? That's about as far as I got. That seemed like a good first step with you, who is working in a brothel. Okay, she was fine with that. And so 50 euros. 50 euros was the price. That seemed like a fair price. I knew from Guitar Player that was pretty standard. I didn't feel like I was getting... the first timer, getting a good deal. So we head upstairs. And the first thing, the sound padding on the other floors must have been extraordinary, because as soon as we hit the fourth floor, it's about 40, the sounds of about 40 or 50 people fucking at one time just hit the ears all at once. And it was kind of amazing. It was kind of hot, and I was like, okay, well, feeling a little more comfortable. She leads us, into the little bedroom, and it's pretty much exactly what I would have imagined. It's got mirrors, all the walls, big circular bed. I don't think I've before or since personally seen the circular bed outside of that, but I was thrilled that it was there. And so we walk in, and she closes the door. And at this point, I start to pretty much have some kind of out-of-body experience with like how awkward that I feel. She's already totally naked. She gets down on the bed, and I'm like, oh, okay. Let's take my bathrobe off. Take my bathrobe off, and now I'm standing there naked. Guess I'll sit down on the bed with you. Hey. How you doing? She tries to get me to relax a little bit, and she takes her hand, and she's doing some different stuff. And in my head, I'm like, I was already freaking out. I'm thinking about this, and the whole thing, just this whole like, what's real, what's not real in this place. None of it makes any sense to me, and the whole thing is freaking me out so much. And what becomes terrifically clear in that moment, not only am I never going to get hard right then, but I can't imagine having an erection for the rest of And so this goes on for, it felt like a while. It was probably about a minute or two. And then I was like, I changed my, I don't know what I said. I changed my mind. Joke's on you. It's going back downstairs. But, so we get up, and I was like, no, I just wanted to put the bathrobe back on. She understands, and she claims to understand. She doesn't really. Does she even care? I don't know. I'll never know. And we go downstairs, and she only charged me 25 euros. So there was that, And so I still here I am. I feel that's probably one of the some of the most embarrassed I've ever felt right then. I'm just like, I can't even fucking have it. I can't even, it's women. I could sleep with any of these women right now. That's why they're here. They're literally their job. And I can take no enjoyment from it. This whole thing is awful to me. And so I can't make a connection with anything in this place. So I go back to the locker and I grab The Shining. And I hunker down in the corner of a restaurant, and for the next few hours, I eat and I read the book and talk to some women that come in there, and it's fine. And eventually, the booker shows up again in the evening and basically kind of collects us as if it were the world's greatest field trip. It's me. There's everything short of an intercom came on, informing the band to please come to the front of the building. Go back to Berlin. We play our big farewell show that night, and it goes really well. The guitarist and the singer are just so psyched from the whole experience all day, massively energized. I myself incredibly drained. Well, we play the show. It goes great. We get off stage, and the singer and the guitarist immediately get in a cab and go back to the brothel. Not to be dissuaded. Those are 24-hour passes, and they were going to get everything they could get out of them. And I left the club, and I went back to the hostel to finish The Shining.